Hello guys, welcome and welcome back. If it's a welcome to you and you have not seen my chap, if this is your first time coming to my channel, or if this is your first time on your For You page because somehow YouTube put it on 6,000 people's For You pages for some reason, which made me really mad because I don't want that many people listening to my work, okay? It's not good. If you are interested and if you want to, you can go check out chapter 1, but I do not recommend because of how bad this is. Anyways, if you are coming back, hi again. Thank you guys so much for the support. I'm actually I hate presenting and sharing my work, but I felt like I wanted to do something because Mastermind is done. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go check out that fic right now. Mastermind. What was it? Mastermind Strategist for Hire by Clouds. Go check that out if you haven't already. Forget this fic exists. Go listen or read that fic. Anyways, without further ado, wrong ado. Let's get into this. Blood Green, written and read by MHA. Chapter 6. Waking Up. The world moves practically unchanged by what happened that night. Seasons have shifted, air growing warmer, and rumors slowing down. Some say Izuku Midoriya died that night, but the truth, Izuku didn't vanish. Izuku wakes up, his eyes fluttering open. Where am I? Am I dead? He thinks as he blinks rapidly, his eyes adjusted to the light. As he groggily looks around the room, it's dim, but with streaks of sunlight coming in through the window. His arm feels warm, the sore sensation of an IV needle piercing his skin. Out of nowhere, a high-pitched squeal sounds. Shiggy, he's awake! Izuku flinches at the sudden outburst. The yell too sharp, too loud for his already overworked senses. He winches and raises a hand to his head, trying to block out the noise. The door slams open, and a girl, sharp yellow eyes, wide and bright, with a huge grin plastered on her face. She had two messy blonde buns. She looked to be Izuku's age, though. I knew you'd wake up soon. I've been waiting so long, and you're finally awake! She shrieks, grinning ear to ear like a psychopath. Her energy is overwhelming, to say the least. But despite the chaos of the moment, there's something oddly comforting about this excitement in her voice. Still, Izuku can't shake this feeling of uneasy. Who's that, and where am I? She leans over the bed, practically bouncing with energy as she looked at him. You were out for a while. We've got to get you back on your feet. She leans in close, not seeming to take part in his personal space, or notice his hesitation as she watches him with those sharp, gleaming eyes that sends chills down Izuku's back. The energy around her is definitely hard to ignore. It's different from the emptiness Izuku's been feeling, but there's a warmth there that he hasn't felt in a long time. Where am I, and who are you? Izuku asks, sounding very tired. He blinks a few more rapid times. The girl responds in a cheery voice. I'm Himiko Toga. We found you all cute and bloodied up by Alexandria Middle School. Tomer said that he wanted to take you and help you recover. Though I didn't know why. But you're cute, so I decided to help. She said, leaning into his face. Izuku stared at her, his mind struggling to process what he said. Himiko Toga? Something about the way she speaks, all casual about finding him, all cute and bloody up, whatever that means, sends even more shivers down his spine. His breath catches slightly. Alexandria Middle School. That must mean that night he fell. But they found him? They saved him? But why? His eyes scan the room. Tomura? Who was that? Why did they take him in? Nothing about this situation makes any sense. He should have died that night. No one should have cared enough to bring him back. That's how it was supposed to be. Yet, here he is. His voice is somewhat hoarse when he finally speaks. You saved me? Toga giggles, rocking back on his heels with that same gleeful expression. Well, technically Tomura did, but I helped. You were such a mess, all broken and covered up in blood. But you're all patched up now and awake, so yay! She claps her hands together, grinning like this is all some fun game. But Izuku can't shake the tension building in his chest. Tomura? He had heard that name before. The news, rumors about villain attacks. This was not some hospital. This wasn't some rescue. He's even more confused and uncomfortable as he was before. But he manages to choke out a few more words. Why would he save me exactly? Toga tilts her head, her smile never fading. Don't know. You'd have to ask him. But he doesn't just save random nobodies, so he must see something special in you. Or maybe giving you a second chance or something like that. Her eyes twinkle with amusement, her words hanging in the air. Izuku grows more tense. A second chance? But at what? He attempts sitting up. In doing so, pain shot up his back. He winches and tries not to cry out from the pain. Careful there! You were all bandaged up, remember? Took you a while to stitch you back together. Izuku clenches his teeth, ignoring the ache as he forces himself upright. His muscles protest, stiff from months of lying in bed. The ivy tugs at his arm playfully as he steadies himself, breathing deeply. This is real. He's really here. His mind races, trying to piece together everything. He should be dead. He wanted to be dead. Yet he's somehow still breathing, still existing in a world that had already thrown him out. Now he's here in some unknown place surrounded by villains. He wasn't quite sure about that, but that's what he assumed at least. Where's this Homer? Toga grins, rocking on her heels again. He's been waiting for you to wake up. She twirls on her feet and skips towards the door humming. I'll go get him. Sit tight, cutie. With that, she bounces out of the room, leaving Izuku alone with his thoughts. His face flushes a bright shade of red. What did she just say? Cutie! His heart pounds. His body aches. Something deep in his chest stirs. Something that has been buried under years of pain, rejection, and hopelessness. He doesn't know how to feel about this situation. But maybe there's some sort of hope for him? Are they gonna be villains? Are they villains, right? Can a villain be a villain without a quirk too? Thought drips of sarcasm, but yet there's a bitter truth to it. Society has already told him the answer. No, a quirkless person is quirkless person isn't meant to be a hero. Quirkless person are meant to exist. But still, he can't help his mind but spiral with those types of thoughts. He's still here, still breathing, but not for long. There's no way that they'd let him go. And even if they did, what would he do? Would he go back? To what? To whom? No one wants him. No one ever has. Whether he dies now or later, it's still the same in the end. The room is quiet as he waits. The only sound is the faint dripping of the ivy and hum of electricity in the walls. That name, Tomura, carries weight in his foggy mind. A villain, from what he remembers. Probably a dangerous one. and for some reason he saved him. The minutes pass, his body aching, but he doesn't care whether they plan to kill him or use him. Izuku doubts it'll change much. I mean, what's left for him anyway? The door creaks open. A man enters the room, and a blonde girl, Toga, that was her name, follows behind him. The man had ghostly pale skin, his hair a light shade of blue-gray, and it clearly hadn't been brushed in a long time. His hands and face looked really cracked. He probably needed some lotion. His posture is relaxed, but there is something uneasy about the way he stands. His deep, bloodshot eyes study the boy in the bed. In his head, and on his head, shoulders, arms, and waist, even one partially covering his face, was a severed hand. Izuku felt scratch that, very nauseous at the fact that there might as well be real human hands on that man's face. But he tries to regain his composure. So you're finally awake, huh? Shigaraki says as he stares at Izuku, his voice dry, scratchy, almost bored. But there's something sharp lurking beneath it. Took you long enough. Where am I? And why did you? Well, Izuku motions to himself. Why did I what? Pick up a half-dead kid off the street. There's something unreadable in Shigaraki's expression. He tilts his head slightly, stepping closer. His posture loose. Basically lazy. You were ratting when I found you, broken and bleeding out. Left for dead. His eyes narrowing as he pauses. Or maybe you left yourself for dead. Does that sound about right? His words are short, cutting deep, even though his tone remains casual. He looks at Izuku with... He doesn't look at Izuku with pity. He just looks curious. As of where you are. He spreads his arm widely. Welcome to the League of Villains, kid. The League of Villains? Izuku thinks. As in the same group responsible for attacks on heroes. The same group whispered about in fear. Shigaraki's red eyes flicker with something dark, something calculated. And Shigaraki caresses his arms, watching him carefully. So tell me, what do you want, huh? Why should have I left you to die? 'Cause that's what I wanted. Izuku mumbled sarcastically under his breath. Shigaraki lets out a dry, humorous chuckle. Is that so? You mean you want to die? He steps closer, something almost mocking in his tone. Tough luck, kid. You didn't. He tilts his head, his eyes narrowing even more as he studies Izuku. You're here now, with us. So what's it gonna be? His voice lowers slightly, a sharp edge creeping in. You won't want me anyways. I'm useless. Izuku says, trying to somehow convince this Tomura guy that he isn't worth the trouble. Shigaraki stares at Izuku for a moment or two, scoffs, and shakes his head. Useless, let me guess. His lips curl in amusement, but in annoyance. Not in amusement, but in annoyance. Let me guess. That's what they told you, right? That you are nothing, that you'll never be a hero, and that you'll never deserve to exist. His voice is mocking and flat. He's heard it all before. But you believe them. Shigaraki scoffs again, but there's no humor in it. Pathetic. You think I wouldn't have killed you already if you were useless? His red eyes gleam in the dim light, sharp and calculating. But you're still here, and that means something.
So if you really want to die, fine. Walk out those doors and run in the street. But if you're here tomorrow,
his lips twitch slightly,
then maybe, just maybe, you're not as useless as you think.
With that, Shigaraki turns away, stepping towards the door.
Toga pipes up. You're not useless. I mean, look at this. I found this by the fountain. It had your name on it, so I matched it up. Thought you might want it back.
She tossed Izuku a notebook at him, and it lands on the bed beside him. The worn cover, the familiar cover of it, number 13. This was his hero analysis notebooks. Burn marks still visible, pages folded now. Toga grins at him, her sharp eyes gleaming mischievously. Izuku just stares at the notebook, reaching to grab it. It feels heavy in his hand. It's strange how something so simple can carry so much weight. His hand shakes as he flips through the pages. Toga watches him closely, her grin never fading. But there's a softness in her gaze as she leans against the door frame.
See, you've got something to hang on to, don't you? That's not useless.
Izuku's heart hurts as he looks at his pages. His name, the cover, his thoughts messily written on the line, the sketches that made him feel like an artist, the analysis he spent days on, hours each day, and his dreams. And it all felt so far away. He knows he can't go back. He wonders if those dreams ever mattered, if they ever mattered at all. Toga watched him quietly from the door. Her energy subsides slightly. For a moment, there's only silence, thick and heavy. Izuku grip tightens around the notebook, his fingers brushing across the sketches. I mean, at least he's holding on to something. Izuku speaks up finally. But I'm worthless, he says, assuming that they just turn him away. But instead, Toga tilts her head, blinking at him, and she laughs.
So, who cares? She bounds closer, her chin resting on the edge of the bed,
with sharp eyes shining with curiosity.
Quirks are what make people strong. That's what the stupid heroes say, even though they aren't.
She taps a finger across the notebook in his hand.
But you're smart, aren't you? You think, you plan, you can figure things out. That's way more interesting than some dumb power.
Shigaraki, who hadn't actually left, instead standing behind the wall listening to the conversation, speaks up, his voice dry and unimpressed. Still whining about that? Shigaraki steps forward, his usual slouch posture. There's intensity in his gaze.
Quirks don't make someone useful. Power does. And power?
His lips curl into a cruel smile that sends chills down Izuku's spine.
Comes in a lot of different forms.
Shigaraki taps his fingers across his arm, careful that all 5 don't hit at once. His gaze sharpens.
You survived something that most people wouldn't. You kept moving forward even when you were told to stop. That is power.
He pauses.
Or do you think the only thing that really matters in this world is some genetic lottery?
His tone is mocking, but there's something real beneath it, suggesting that he knows exactly how Izuku is thinking. Toga grins wide, nodding enthusiastically.
Tomura is right. Besides, I think you have way more fun than rotting up there with all those fakers.
They aren't turning him away. They're not laughing. They aren't calling him useless. They see something in it. Not just an empty shell, a waste of a human. Izuku looks back down at the notebook in his hand, confused on what's going on. The burn marks a reminder of what people said to him. They're lying. They're just gonna be another Kachan, rings a voice in his head. They just want to be my friend. Push me down even harder. That's how it always goes. Izuku's grip tightens on the notebook as his thoughts spiral even more out of control. They have to be lying. His fingers twitch, his breath heavy. But why? His voice is quiet, barely more than a whisper. His head stays down, eyes locked on the pages in his lap. Why do you care? Why would you want someone like me? Toga puffs her cheeks out in frustration, very much exaggerating.
Why do you keep asking that? Why do you care? Why do you like me? Blah, blah, blah. You're interesting, that's why.
She throws her arms up dramatically before leaning closer, her eyes sparkling with something genuine.
I don't need some deep reason. I like people who are different, and you, Izuku, are very different. So cute. Dreamy. I mean, you're perfect. If only you were bloodied up right now.
Shigaraki smacks Toga on the back of her head. She reluctantly moves back, giving Izuku some space, but pouting in response. Shigaraki watches Izuku, his gaze unreadable. You're overthinking it, kid. He crosses his arms, his expression darkening slightly.
I don't need to care about you. I care about what you could be.
His eyes burn into Izuku's eyes.
You ain't weak. No matter how much you keep telling yourself you are. And if you think I'd waste my time on someone who doesn't matter, you really are an idiot.
The silence is long and stretches. They aren't yelling at him, despite, well, maybe Shigaraki is, but yelling at him in a way that others would. They aren't pushing him down or away. They aren't laughing at his quirklessness. They aren't leaving. Izuku takes a deep breath and hesitantly asks, then why did you bring me here? What was the goal? Shigaraki tilts his head in response, a slow smirk creeping onto his face.
Finally starting to ask the real questions, huh?
He takes a step closer, his red eyes gleaming with something unreadable.
Why did we bring you? Well, Toga? Well, like I said, you're bleeding out on the streets. Toga wanted to pick you up because she thought you were cute, whatever. You aren't all sad and broken. Just adorable, Toga says,
Grinning, twirling a strand of hair. Shigaraki shoots her a look, telling her to shut up.
But I don't do things for no reason.
He crouches to make himself eye level with Izuku. You were at the edge, Midoriya. The world had already threw you away. I just happened to pick you up first. His voice lowers, becoming almost persuasive.
I know you want to know what happens next. But someone like you, someone who's been told their entire life that they were nothing, what they do when they finally realize.
He tilts his head, an evil look in his red eyes, sending more chills down Izuku's back.
They can be something else.
He pauses.
I don't need you to be strong. I don't need you to be special. I need you to decide if you are done playing the victim.
The silence after is long and tense. The choice isn't forced, but it's surreal.
Toga grins. So, what you think? You gonna stay? Gonna go? Oh, please stay. I wanna keep you. I wanna love you. We can get married and...
She trails off, daydreaming. Izuku looks at her, looking very uncomfortable. They're offering him something. A place, a purpose, even power. I want to talk to my mom first, Izuku stammers out, remembering how worried she must be that Shigaraki about him. Shigaraki tosses him an old newspaper, dated 5 months back. The title? Quirkless Suicide Again in Mufasa, Japan. Izuku catches the newspaper, his hands shaking even more as his eyes scan the front page. The breath leaves his lungs all at once. Heart pounds. Vision blurs. The word on the page twisting in his mind. His name isn't written there. It doesn't have to be. He knows exactly who they're talking about. His fingers tighten on the paper. Chills run through him. His chest feels tight, suffocated by something far heavier than just shock. 5 months? It had really been 5 months? Everything he knew. His mother, his home. It's all gone? Shigaraki watches him carefully, his expression unreadable.
You think he can go back?
His voice isn't mocking this time. It's almost quiet, like patient.
The world has decided you're dead, Midoriya. What do you think happens if you'd show up again?
Toga leans closer, resting her chin on her hands as she studies his face.
I bet they had a nice funeral for you. I mean, sad one, obviously. But still, you really want to see what's left after all this time?
The words should feel cruel, but it's something genuine curiosity in her tone. Izuku stares down at the paper, his mind spinning. His mom, his home, his entire life, all gone. 5 months. Who exactly are you two? Izuku finally asks.
End note. Hi. Also, if you are listening to this on YouTube, which you guys are because I'm recording this for YouTube,
OMG, guys. The support is too much! This chapter is long. I didn't know when to stop or cut it off. Fun fact, I actually meant chapter 6 to be in chapter 7 to be one whole thing. Then I realized it was nope, too long. But yeah. Also, I do want to say there were probably multiple times where I was kind of choppy and cutting off. Because sometimes, okay, this chapter 6 took 3 days total to write. Just because I was just not feeling this part that I had in it. And so my writing is stupid in this. So I'm probably gonna have to go back, fix things up. So if it's not really flowy, I apologize. I promise chapter 6 and 7, just because they're my favorite chapters so far, will be better, more flowing together just because I've had more time. I was really locked in when I was writing them. I just kind of needed to get this part done just for the fact that I needed to, stop. I had to get this part in here for the plot, etc. Anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for listening. The amount of support I've been getting from you guys, it makes my day every single time I open up my YouTube and I see a comment. It makes me so, so, so incredibly happy. Anyways, guys, I don't have anything else to say other than just thank you for everything. And I will see you in chapter 7. Peace.